All right. This is a series. I know I'm live. Can I have a dramatic pause entrance? Sorry, I'm arguing with production. This is my first time. So we have what I think is going to be an amazing series. We have MSN versus YZY. YZY is a player who has been tearing up the ladder. First time I've watched them in a tournament setting, but already they've won some big games. MSN, the young up-and-comer, I guess we can say that every time. At some point, he'll stop being young, but he's still young right now. And we get to see them battle off here today on King of the Hill. What do we think about this matchup on King of the Hill, Wayman?
I mean, Rus has a pretty good reputation on this one, especially considering it's up against China. And I know you mentioned something about those Chinese strategies. What strategy do they usually go for in King of the Hill?
I'm pretty sure they do like a song 2TC into I'm joking. We're gonna see Pro Scout. We're gonna see a Pro Scout. Wayman for a second was looking at me like, no, don't go down this road. No, it's gonna be a Pro Scout. The question is Roos gonna Pro Scout? Roos has a lot of options here. They both have defensive landmarks they could put on the central sacred site. The thing that's kind of busted about Roos on King of the Hill is that they can just drop a bunch of hunting cabins all over the forest, get a lot of passive gold. And so you kind of have two civs that both get gold in a lot of waves. You have Roos that's getting gold from hunt and from trees somehow. They just take the gold out of the trees. And then you have China getting gold from taxes and the production of units and the dropping off of resources. So fun matchup.
China has a really good way of controlling the middle of the map, though. And I'm not just talking about a Barbican, you know, but eventually it does get there. But it feels like China has a little bit of a better timing when it starts to move out. On the other hand, Rus is Rus. You mean, those towers are great. And especially when you're the one moving out, you don't even need to Pro Scout. Usually it's counted by walling or towering and gathering right from there. And this is not something that MSN would be afraid to do. Now, MSN also recently getting back from boot camp. So we know that this man is practiced and prepared for this qualifier. Now, he's definitely one of our favorites to qualify all the way. If not today, definitely tomorrow. So we have high hopes for our young lad. But looking at the draft for a moment, we're seeing a consistent ban on Zushi. What a surprise. But again, Rus sneaking through. And I'm honestly very surprised to see this. It feels like there's a little bit of a Rus talk that we haven't really experienced just yet. And I guess we'll see the rest of it in EGC, the rest of the tournament as well.
It feels like it's kind of personal preference after Zushi. After Zushi, kind of just depends what people feel like is the best. Everyone agrees Zushi's busted, but like some people think Rus, some people think China, some people think Ottoman, some people think KT. Just kind of depends. I want you to keep your eye on MSN pick 2 clock. I've seen MSN play 2 clock. He's got 2 clock, and I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to play him on Dry River. And just be aware. I'm putting that out there right now. But here we go into the game. We have YZY for our Canadians playing China on the west side of the map, and we have this Msn.dk on the right side of the Rus, opening up with that double hunting cabin like they love to do.
Why the Canadians? Why did you single those poor people out? Because of your pronunciation?
Well, the Twitch chat wanted it. I'm just trying to be a man of the people.
Okay. Just making sure. So do we say YZY or YZY? Oh, I can't say. No, I'm YZYing all the way. Okay, YZY it is. So guys, for all of you who disagree, you are wrong and you're getting banned, so be very careful. But we do see our hunting cabin opening as to be expected on both sides. Very nice, lots of gold. And if you are an enjoyer of the Gamba, let's decide how much that one hunting cabin is going to get, because oh my gosh, it is on a lot of trees. Look at that.
Oh, that's nice.
Is this the one game or the one matchup where you don't go Abby, or do you still go Abby?
I would hunt in that cabin. Well, it's tough because it's tough because the bonuses of the landmark are still very good, and you want to make, and now it's big Rus meta to make a mass of monks, warrior monks. At the same time, though, you just get such a natural, easy to defend, massive amount of passive gold and food from that hunting cabin landmark. So if there's any map they do, it'd be this one. But I'm also curious to see MSN's opening style, because MSN is generally a very aggressive player. He's famous for his 1 TC all in ABBA. he likes to get in his opponent's face and play off that. He's a big horseman enjoyer. So I'm curious if if this is going to be a very aggressive game. Maybe his goal be try to only allow one deer pack, but shut down the second. It is very far away if you look at the deer pack locations, and just try to play into this closing style of maybe try to catch YZY doing something greedy and have a good all-in timing, because this map's not that big. So it's not like it will take a while to reinforce as well. So I'm interested to see what he goes for here. And he does open Golden Gate. No Kremlin from him.
Love that. Golden Gate. No, I want to hope. I'm just hoping we get a high trade house in the corner. The Golden Gate is there. So we go back to the olden days. Horse archers served there as well. But I want to take a moment to look at the deer too. So the deer on the map on the south side of MSN space, that one has a little opening there at the top too. So it's going to be very easy for professional scouts to take alternative routes. So it's actually pretty nice there for YZY. And on the top side, it's also very far out. Not really something that's easy to defend or, you know, to snack. So MSN might consider that himself in a way. So I'm wondering if it's still worth it when you know your opponent is going for it too. Because of course you're just splitting it 2-2.
There is also a legitimate option for Roos to go 2TC here. There is a Golden Gate 2TC timing. We can get down a second TC really fast, buying it through the Golden Gate. You drop it on one of the deer packs, and then you wall up, because it's fairly easy to wall this map. And that way you're getting both a deer pack and you're getting an eco bonus, and you can still be dropping hunting cabins. It's just a thought. I don't think that's MSN's style. He's not really known to do a 2TC like that, but I have seen it done in work in this specific matchup on this specific map as well.
With 2TC, you have to always wonder, is this going to be too slow to really pay off? But honestly, it has shown us time and time again, with the right timing, it feels good. Now that village that he's building all the way out there, it makes me a little bit worried because it's quite far out, especially against a civilization that loves to go for lots of scouts. So, brave man coming in. But with these vills, my big question is, what is going to be our production building of choice? It has to be a stable because you want to get your scouts out, but also it's going to shut down if MSN. Yeah, so stable is the way to go. But going straight for a horseman then, be able to shut down at least a little bit of it. And then you have a little bit of map presence to just run around and shut anything down that might come out of MSN's base. But MSN, he is very much not spending any resources at all.
This feels like a fast castle.
Yeah.
It feels like we have a fast castle coming in. And I'm not the biggest fan of the fast castle directly into China pro scouts. I think Roos can do it. And obviously, I mean, once again, MSN prepares. He knows these sort of matchups. I'm sure he's prepped this and he has a plan for this. I'm just interested because I think this might work just because of the size of the map, but not even getting a single deer pack while doing this fast castle, that means he's going to go relics. Like, I feel like this means we're going to see our relic landmark, and he's going to be trying to get the relics and maybe do a really quick early sacred site and just play around sacred site. But we'll see.
I'm really surprised in this because I'm asking, is there enough food for this at all? Now you have a horseman out on the map. This is going to at least... Oh, and a second one joining him as well. Because I think YZY in a way is expecting MSN to go for pro scouts. Especially because seeing all those villagers under the TC, you're feeling like, hey, maybe this is a man who's going to need a lot of food here. But now, he is putting himself in a very peculiar spot. You're not going to have access to food to make any units. It's really not going to be an easy one at all.
Also, these two horsemen provide such massive value. If he did read the fast castle, which it's pretty clear fast castle if he scouts at all, then it's like, great, two horsemen, I can go burn hunting cabins. I can not let him gather gold. He has to do everything passively. And if you notice, he's trying to wall off because he wants to do the high trade house, but those two horsemen forced him to use wood he didn't want to use. So in your own games, folks, you'd be surprised how much just two horsemen, how much damage they can cause your opponent's trying to be really, really greedy. But we see Emerson's going to go straight to the high trade house, wall it up to protect it, and that's going to be a lot of value. A lot of value. Now, can YZY punish this by taking more than just his two deer packs? That's gonna be the question for me.
Oh, and the problem is there is a horseman. There's a horseman in here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no.
The other one's here too. No. Oh, this is disaster. Oh, he caught him. He caught him. Oh, wow.
And luckily, catching that one is so critical, but he gets a villager kill at the same time, and that is massive. Horseman will go down, another one going down, and now YZY is the man who is only getting himself some deer, but he has access to all the deer. And the problem is the food is mostly depleted. He's going to have access to one deer spawning every now and again.
Dude, I love the villager fight animation. If you ever like really zoomed in and watch it, but they'll like stab with their ship and then they'll do this little like kick and like go away. So I just think it's a fun time. So here we have the horse archer. Surprise, surprise! Horse archers coming in, and this is a map where he has a good time with the horse archers, but it's also an easy map to wall. So there's a potential here that these horse archers can get neutralized fairly early. Though this version, this map spawn actually is pretty wide open. Sometimes this map spawns with it being a lot easier to wall, but age up hits, horse archers come in with the landmark. That's really all the food he needs. This deer, with how cheap horse archers are food wise, he can kind of just have this deer and use the golden gate to sell and make a lot of horse archers. I assume he'd want a monastery pretty quick as well for these relics.
I feel like you're very optimistic on the amount of food that poor little high trade house is going to provide, because man, this is going to be a hungry roost for a while. But maybe him adding in a farm every now and again is going to be just enough. But we do see the food already pumping in and horse archer numbers slowly increasing. Now, I want to see him sending it straight to the deer, but we saw already a few of the deer being taken away by YZY at the south side of Emerson's base, that one we talked about before. So he has gone for a little bit of the greedier scouting pattern, but the astronomical clock tower coming in means that we're going to be getting lancers against these horse archers, which, honestly, not the worst. Oh, those villagers are about to go to an almost empty deer pack. That is so sad.
Oh, it's going to be a surprise. There's still 4. And a wolf.
Nice.
Four deer. That's still
Diversity.
350. Oh no, the scout's coming. No. So what's interesting is, usually China would want to do map hacks, but YZY is going to do astronomical clock tower because one of the most busted things China could do on this map is just make mass boosted nested bees. Any siege coming out of the clock tower has extra health, and those nested bees do not die. A very common way China wins is just taking the central sacred site, making a bajillion nested bees, and never dying. So I think the game plan's pretty clear here for YZY. Msn has to basically not allow the center to be taken. And that's going to be his entire goal here. Because the second YZY can set up there, it's going to be really hard to push him off.
Oof, but these lances are doing a really good job at just existing and getting a few trades off. The problem is no relics are in sight, and yet another deer has been going.
Oh my god. And I think YZY did that on purpose. He saw the greedy fast cast and was like, I have to take one of his deer packs. Like, I absolutely have to get one of those.
And the right one was chosen, especially like closer to the base. You know your opponent is exactly going to be focusing on that one when he starts moving out of the base. But now with these horse archers, he is running around hoping for the best. But we are finally going to get some relic gathering as the first Moria monk is coming out. But with all these lancers on the field, he needs a lot more horse archers to make this work.
And it's just so much micro load. And if anyone could do it, it's Msn. Msn, great micro, a lot of APM, scout dedge, but like as of anything of these horse archers, one slip up and you've lost half your horse archers. So it's like it's such a on the edge of glory plan where it's like you're just constantly trying to do just enough damage but not throw everything away. And like right here, all of a sudden the knights show up and he has to get out of there. Personally, when I play horse archers, they all die. But here, he's at least trying to keep them alive, which is good news. But his eco is exposed whenever they show up.
And the problem is those are a few villages on those 2 deer. They're going to be targeted by the knights any second now. That's exactly where they're heading. But now with the amount of poise that he's got, he's going to be able to fight these ones down. He does need to get +1 to be able to actually do some, or at least a little bit of damage to these lances. But the villages on those 2 deer, at least they are providing a solid source of income. I would like to take a quick look to see if he's desperate enough for a farm yet. Or if he's still like, no, I mean on the other side. No, the man's just chopping. 1 deer at a time.
I have another question. Does he have any tickets? Has he been spending those Golden Gate tickets regularly? He has. He buys food. See? He's just been buying food constantly with his Golden Gate tickets because he's getting so much passive gold from the hunting cabins and from the landmark. Now, if he does get enough horse archers to start 2-tapping knights, then this is going to get really bad for YZY. Like, as China, you're often kind of looking for a dive timing at this point, but Msn's really starting to get those numbers up. He's starting to get his arrow attack up as well, and he's starting to get the relics. I don't know if he's actually grabbed any yet, but he does have 3. Oh, I think he has got some. How many does he have? He has 1 with 2 coming in. That's great for him. And that's the thing, he can just keep doing this Golden Gate buy and be okay on food for a while.
Now, the less horse archers he loses here, and I know this sounds very obvious, the better, because they're going to go get healed up, and they are very, very low. But +1 finally coming in. And now, with all these warrior scouts, he's slowly going to be able to start thinking about that once those last few relics come on in. And another lancer coming in. As he charges in, he could have gotten 1 kill. But I don't know if he's walled off completely at the back. Oh, he has not, but he's desperately trying to get one, and fast walls at the speed of light. Is it going to be on time?
There's opening. I think there's trees blocking it from being finished. No, okay. For a second, it looked like it couldn't close. Can we get back to Vil kill count in a second here? I have to see what this raid did. But now these are going to get cleaned up, and how much are they going to take down with them? That's the question. Only 2 Vils killed so far. I'm sorry, one Vil killed so far. I didn't really do much at all. Msn did get wheelbarrow just in time. He just got wheelbarrow, so his Vils were able to get away. I wondered if he got Vil health boost textiles. Probably not, but that would also explain why he didn't lose much.
Now, these lances are quite expensive to lose, and he is losing a bunch. Now, those villagers are unupgraded, but still surviving all the way. We do have a few of those gold villagers needing to run for their lives. A few of the buried boys are also in danger, but he's fast on the reaction, and Msn showing us why he's the next big kid on the block and gets his villagers out safely. Those lancers, they are looking for more damage. As we see the fire going off at the front there too, he is just attacking on every single angle and loses focus for a moment.
But there's so many horse archers here now.
+2 attack is in, so the TC fire is going to help this as well. But this is going to take a while for him to actually be able to clean this up. The food is slowing down now from YZY, and I would love to take a look at how those villages are gathering, because those deer packs are very much still displaying on the map. Has he been able to pick up? Yeah, he's slowly bringing them in. Not too hastily.
But Msn did a great job hunting out scouts early in the game, so it really felt like he was able to slow down the food income, because there's not a single fully taken deer pack except the one near BC's, not BC, I'm sorry, so next to Msn's base. I'm reading chat at the same time. And now we do have YZY going out with the Borbican on the north side of the map, which is exactly what he needs. That boar is going to provide so many resources, and it's on berries as well. That's a lot of food. Food he needs really bad.
And losing all of these horse archers is massive, and he just looked away for a moment, but again, it's actually, he should be able to replace these. With the relics he's gotten at this point, he should be in a very nice spot. And now he doesn't have enough warrior monks to try and heal these boys back up to life, but this might mean a transition will be underway at some point. It does feel like there's a moment here where knights are going to do pretty well, but he does need the income for this. And the food, this is not fully set up just yet. Villagers, again, in shambles, needing to run for their lives, but they are in a little bit of danger. They do fight back, though.
He has that textiles then, right?
No, he doesn't. Oh, no.
Oh.
Now he's starting to lose more villagers.
That's now 9 dead Vils. And here's the thing, like, he really needed to start hitting that like 30 to 40 count. Where'd the boar go?
The boar's there. It's just a little bit close.
Okay, he was paused. Okay. You want to start hitting like at this point like 30 to 40 horse archers to start really just melting. But YZY did a great job lowering those numbers, buying space with the Borbican, and getting walls up. So now YZY plays this game where now that he's got his base safer, he's got food, he's going to remass again, and then the next goal is to then secure the central sacred site. Can he get like a keep down there and start playing siege and defense? That's going to be his next big goal. But Msn is... No, sorry, keep going. No, sorry, go.
He does have the ability to get into the base for now, as the wall is not finished up just yet, but he needs to kite these perfectly. Again, he is able to replenish them, but just not fast enough with the Lancer numbers to match it at least, especially now with the Barbican and the extra villager production. He is going to need to make things matter, but oh my goodness, the rest of the boys have arrived and the takedown should be a little bit easier.
The boys are back in town, and he got the health on his horse archers, so now they're a lot tankier. They can tank at least one more hit from the Lancer, I think. I don't know exactly how much health they get. We can check that in a second. 25 more health. Yeah, that's like one more knight hit, which is a pretty big deal, So, oh, and this wall's still not done yet. He needed those walls up, and now these horse archers are in, and they're going to cause so many problems. This is Msn's chance. Msn's got to get a lot of Vil kills here. This is the moment he's been waiting for. Oh, wow.
He might even be able to equalize those villager kills, and quickly does more kiting. 2 groups, exactly what you need, and he focuses on what needs to die, villagers. Those lances, though, they're still pretty annoying, but now we see the income just falling flat. Oh my gosh, another
so many
bunch.
Vils. This is the worst feeling when playing against Roos and the horse archers getting your base and your villagers just evaporate. It's so painful.
Now Msn, he's got the sacred site too. He's got the horse archers running for, oh my goodness, just sniping as they go. Now the lancer numbers not being able to be replaced, but still China is equal on villager count. So this is not the end of the world, but it's starting to feel like it.
Yeah, but just look at the overall eco. While their villager count's the same, Msn's eco is way better. The passive gold is carrying him so hard. He's getting about 700 gold passively with no villagers on gold, which is he can put the rest of his vills on wood and food, and it makes his eco better than YZY's. And now that he's taken down some of these knight counts, he's killed some villagers, and he's taken the central sacred site, I feel like at any moment we're going to see Msn shift to getting stone for a keep, secure the central sacred site, and then it's over. I mean, those 4 relics are doing a lot of work too.
Having that much in the bank, you feel pretty stable with all of that investment. The thing is, YZY has 51 villagers on this map, and those horse archers, they've got more than 51 arrows in them. They definitely can find more damage, and they're about to, but the boys are just gonna go and idle out. But now we see 375 food per minute. That is not the amount of food we're looking for. But Msn at the same time, now more horse archers being produced. He has to keep them in the base though, because those lances are going to be able to do quite a bit of damage.
And I think it's really important. It's small, we missed a lot of it, but Msn did a lot of scout sniping. So like, it really adds up, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's 6 to 8 deer carcasses on the ground, not in YZY's base. And those really add up when it comes to your ability to maintain night production.
And the beauty of horse archers is you can snipe things out if your micro is perfect. You look away for 1 second and you lose 3 of them. So this is showing us Msn is comfortable doing exactly that. But he's only microing 1 group at a time. You can see this is taking quite a bit out of him.
Msn, can you please get the second mouse set up and the second screen so you can micro 2 groups at the same time? Thank you.
I mean, he can't be perfect, right? But he's getting there. And, ooh, picking off so many of these. Now, finally, the boys are stuck in the base, and they will be picked off. Producing the warrior monk, trying to get through. He gets an attack off, but doesn't look like the boost has gone all through. Msn, though, he has the setup for this. He's got some farms. He's getting this economy in a very good spot. Wall.
He's 2-tapping knights at this point. And it's like, when you're 2-tapping knights and eventually he'll be 1-tapping, the amount of knights YZY needs to be able to do anything is too much. He just doesn't have the eco to make that many knights.
Especially with the boar eventually running out. Oh, and the boys are going north. They're going to the Barbican. The Barbican is under siege. There's only 8 space for 8 villagers. And there's a lot more than 8 here.
Ooh. That might be all the boar wrote on that one.
I'm not going to acknowledge that.
You go. No, you go. You go.
We'll find it. This is the first day. We gotta warm up. Now, these lancers are just getting picked off as they come out, and villagers desperately walling up. You can just see this man is holding on to a dream, and that dream is painted in walls. But horse archers, they get counted by walls pretty well, by the way. It's just, not when they're inside of where the walls are supposed to keep them out of.
Yeah, when they're already in the base, the walls don't feel as good, that's for sure. And basically, YZY has 5 minutes and 50 seconds to figure out how to counter 48 horse archers. His answer is more knights, and he has no farms. So once the berries run out, once the boar runs out, he did finish the wall. So these horse archers are now stuck in the base, but he's just gonna run them up to the wall so the outside horse archers can help. Hey, we're over here. We're over here. And MSN's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep. Actually, MSN's going imp. And I'll give you one guess what he's gonna do with that Imperial Age.
Oh my goodness. Go into the next game, baby. But yes, I agree. He was gonna get it on the sacred side and just ensuring he gets the beauty of that game. YZY being completely out-microed here by the MSN Danish god. Milkshake thief, but a fast player nonetheless. Do you know the milkshake meme, by the way?
I don't.
Okay, so when we were at Masters of Steel, MSN yoinked my milkshake out of the fridge. I made a YouTube video about it. About
My
the big
God.
controversy, yeah, and I got it on a photo that he yoinked it. So he will always be the milkshake thief in my heart. But I will appreciate his gameplay because that was phenomenal.
I'm guessing he tried to do the whole youth like me. What are you talking about? I'm just so hungry. I'm a growing
It was in the
boy.
free for all fridge.
My bones, they hurt. I'm growing. Oh, look at this matchup coming up next. He's 190 wet. That's what you mean. I don't know. But this next matchup, Gorge, KT versus Ottoman. I think it's interesting that YZY said I'd rather play against Ottoman than Malian.
Now, getting both of these civs in one game, I'm excited to see because Ottoman has always been banned. But Knights Templar, these guys, they're in a very healthy spot right now. It feels like there's not much that can take them down. A lot of people are struggling with so many different styles that they get to go for. But while we have 4 minutes and 46 seconds, guys, let's take a moment.
An eternity.
The draft. We have so much time for the draft. And like you mentioned earlier, we have Tuck Luck. I am so happy to see some Tuck Luck action because I think Tuck Luck right now is the lowest played civilization on ladder as well. People are just not vibing with the elephants.
But people who are good at there are some guys and some gals who they see a weird civ that people don't play and they're like, I'm gonna make this work. And there are some absolute monsters on the ladder up in like 17, 1800, 1900 elo who will just dominate with 2 Glock. And it's brutal. They're so good with it. And I think it's starting to seep into pro play. And I think that especially on hybrid maps, there's some moves there. MSN also grabbing Golden Horde, which I feel like is good. Also is I feel like there's a lot of different variations of how people view about Golden Horde. I'm sorry, I have American pronunciation of things. I'm trying my best. Then you have HRE, which I feel like is a very specific use case. Like I feel like HRE is the type of civ you're trying to match it against what you think is a good matchup. If you're looking at YZY's draft, I think he's got a good lineup of civs.
YZY has your more standard civilizations, the ones that people are like, okay, this is what a standard lineup looks like. MSN's like, I'm gonna take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I want a little bit of aggression. I want to be able to boom a bit. I want to pull a little cheese here and there. I know you're gonna say it's not cheese, but MSN always brings a little bit of lactose into play. So I am hopeful that we get to see a little bit of that. But with Malians getting sniped the second time in a row, it's telling us that I let you have Malians, but you're not going to get Malians. This also, again, puts him in a spot where he gets to decide what civ goes on through. Maybe he does not go for Malians on Silk Road. As we saw earlier, Malians on Silk Road just doesn't have the same kind of ring to it as it does on a map that has access to wood. But yes, so no Ottomans. On Gorge, Ottomans, they have 2 openings, right? They have a barracks, or they just go for military school. Against KT, how do you feel about that barracks opening?
I don't think you do it. I think you do a normal military school opening, and it kind of depends because I kind of hot take that I feel like KT 1TC feudal is actually pretty good. You age up super fast. You can immediately get a sacred sight going, and then you don't really need to be on gold. You actually have a lot of pressure. You can go from that. And Chevs actually hold up okay against Sipahi. It's not amazing, but they do pretty much better than a Horseman does. I'm interested if YZY does a Dark Age rush as KT, but as Ottoman, I feel like you really only want to do a Dark Age barracks on like a hybrid map where you're actually want to make a lot of spears like Deny a Dock. I don't think you're doing that in most land maps.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they want to shut down whatever KT tries to do. And KT, with them for a while just going for 2TC, it felt like that is the way to deny it. But they have so many things that they can do now without even thinking about 2CC. So, yeah. Ottomans, maybe we get something standard. I would love to see a little bit more of Sipahi play. I feel like KT, they're really hard to kill once you get a keep up. But there's a timing there where the Sipahis can seriously pay off. I think the barrier of just getting through the KT second TC and the fact that they can make units that handle everything in the early game, it feels quite rough. But Ottomans, if there's a civilization that can handle it, it's Ottomans. So I believe, I'm a believer in the Ottoman shutdown. I just hate KT. So seeing it go down, it's a sore point for me.
I don't know which one I hate playing more than Ottoman or KT. KT, it's like once the keeps get up, then all of a sudden it just becomes a drag out game. You're like, I'm just losing. And against Ottoman, all like you blink and there's 8 Sipahi in your wood line, you lose all your vills. So either way, both of them have the things that can be frustrating. I'm very curious how this plays out. And we're gonna see because the game is starting now.
Oh my goodness, we're going for stone. That's so good. So MSN getting his stone for his wonderful old, what is that thing called? Military school. There's the go. Oh, guys, sorry. Oh, you're so cool. Oh, just refresh the page. Just click the button, you know? Gramps? Just press it. Oh. Nice! I hear sheep too. Guys, let's roll. And look at that house! House opening from KT. That's crazy! But there is a little bit of a crime going on here. Those villagers, look at where they're gathering that sheep from. I feel like there's been guides made about that. That sheep...
that sheep's not efficient, or you're losing 1 food per minute gather.
Yes. That sheep is not optimal, actually. We're supposed to be able to get the sheep under the TC, because right now they're running back and forth, and that is not optimal.
Unfortunately, this is an auto loss for me at this point. You're gonna see the food really drop off. Okay, can we see? He's just doing a normal military school, right?
Okay, why do we sound like Beastie? Oh my goodness,
go.
baby god. We just got accused. Oh, now with that military school, oh my goodness. Spearmen coming out very slowly, and one day will arrive, but that thing is annoying, because once it lands there, it limits you. You don't just get to go for gold all you want. You just need to accept the fate that there is now a spear. And it can be troublesome. But luckily, the Knights Templar, they are built differently. They just get to drop off wood to the sky. I love that for them. I hate that, playing against it, but it's great for them. You know when your boss is like, oh, the company made so much money and it's doing so great, but you don't get a raise. That's how I feel about KT. I look at them dropping off wood to the skies and I'm like, that's great for them, but I hate it. Good job.
They chop down a tree and they find an onion. It's crazy stuff. That's why I think actually KT is a low key like great beginner civ. You don't have to make a lumber camp. You get food from wood. Your villagers can just be sent anywhere and gather. It's pretty nice. But he's just going to pull off a gold, not even worry about it. And we are seeing a Magna wall. He is making sure he can gather stone. And for those of you who are new to the game, if you attach a wall to a resource like that, it makes it blocked off. So he's going to wall backwards so that the spears can't bother him. And this looks like a 2TC.
I am in. I'm committed to this. I love it. Thank you, YZY. We needed this. And the beauty of that is just your spears come and harass, but they're gonna run through the TC to get there. Honestly, with 2, you might be able to get in there anyway. He needs to make sure that that bad boy is nice and deep. Oh, he is. He is.
Principality of Antioch. Let's go.
Tell me about it.
So KT has 3 upgrade options. Every single one gives a bonus as well as this unique unit. In this case, the Principality of Antioch. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Someone's mad at me. It gives you extra melee damage and also unlocks the Sergeants. The Sergeants is one of the weirdest units in the game. They are a melee unit that throws an axe, so they do melee damage, but they're ranged. They're very slow. They're very expensive. But you mass them up and it is insane. One unique little thing they can do is if you're ram pushing them and you have a bunch of sergeants, they can just snipe the ram. No problemo. They also have a lot of melee armor, so they're great against other melee units. And archers will do okay against them. You just need a lot of them. But once the archers really get out, they start to die. So it's interesting he's doing this. It could be used sergeants as a defensive. It could all just be he wants a little bit more melee damage on his units.
I am not a big fan of imagining a mass of sergeants just coming at you, but I feel like that's exactly what's in store for MSN. The beauty of them is they don't actually do too badly against Sipahis either, because you can still use the mobility of being ranged to out-kite while still doing that melee damage. So
kiting is not their strong suit, but it is something they can do. I mean, in chat, raise your hand if you've been Sergeant Rushed, proxy-based Sergeant Rushed. It's definitely annoying. Also, shout out to all my 2TC enjoyers. We're getting a 2TC game off the rip. Love to see it. And here comes the spears. They're a little too late to stop this. They can be annoying, but they're not going to stop it. I'm curious. You would think he'd put it directly on the gold to really secure gold, but I think he cares more about the deer. So here comes the spears. All he has to do is pull the Vil back, and it's going to live. Oh, the Vil's got hands. Go. And then they're going to pull the Vil back. And ooh, is he gonna, if he can get one, that'd be pretty big, but he won't. He's just slowing down the initial build of it, but it will get up.
Oh, and he does need to. Ooh, that one's getting dangerously low there, sir. Gets one. Pretty big play right there, and the boy's going down.
Especially because KT has less vills from the jump because their age up burns a villager during the age up. So it doesn't burn them physically, just like you can't make one while you're aging up. But
yeah, in Age of Empires, we don't burn villagers unless you're Byzantines.
But this is interesting. A lot of people kind of live by a credo that you should never 2TC against Ottomans. Though KT 2TC is often considered a very strong defensive TC, mostly because the food with wood gather bonus just makes you a lot more sturdy and you have less need to like force yourself out onto food. But Ottoman is an amazing feudal civ. So I'm curious if MSN loves to fight in feudal. He loves horsemen. He has the best horseman in the game now. So I assume MSN is going to go for just an all-in, while YZY is going to do the Knights Templar thing and make so many archers that your eyes will bleed.
I'm actually surprised in the archer decision here. Okay, it makes sense because you're going to be up against the spears. You're also going to be up against archers, naturally, but the Sipahis, they kind of delete them pretty quickly. So the archers, we're going to need a ton of them pretty soon. Those spears standing in position already. And it feels like MSN is already mentally preparing himself to jump. But very smart move here by him, making sure that his villagers, there's not going to be too many to not be able to garrison in that TC. I think there's one extra out of all of them. So he makes sure that he gets his villagers in a very, very safe position here.
Yeah, and it's interesting. He felt safe enough to even greed out by going for a pilgrim immediately. Like, he didn't even feel like he needed to immediately make units. He went to pilgrim and then started making archers. And while, yes, Sipahi will cut up archers, the goal of YZY is he doesn't want to take a fight away from his TC. And you want to be able to do damage as they enter your TC area and leave. So I think he wants to build that archer mess first. And now he's going into spears. The Antioch will help with his spear damage as well. Minor, but really, really nice. And wait, whoa. Did MSN do the Meter Vizier point?
Yes, I was about to say, that is interesting. Why we're going for Meter when we're so used to seeing, you know, imams. Especially when you're diving.
I need someone from Vest in chat right now. Right now. Explain. But it's weird. You almost always see the healers. I guess he values the movement speed. He doesn't need to make meters. He now has 2. I guess he really wants the movement speed. For what exact reason, I don't know. It is really good with Mass Sipahi. It's really good with Mass Knights. Gives him a lot of movement speed. But when you're fighting against a 2TC, I feel like you kind of want the healing. So we're going to see what MSN thinks here.
Now, with the archer numbers increasing, it's great. Again, you're going to have such a good response to the few spears and the archers from your opponent. But with 2 meters, you already are going to deal with the extra ranged attack bonus or the ranged defense bonus. So those archers, when you're diving at TC, it feels so much less scary that way. But the villagers now quickly popping in and out. But as the deer expire around the TC, they need to go further and further. And that is where things start to get a little bit hairy.
Exactly. And that and he found the scholar, and these spears are here, but 2 spears are not going to kill 5 Sipahi. He's just going to micro them out, and which is once again why I'm curious about the choice of no imams, because you'd feel like you'd want to heal here, and he's starting to get some hits on villagers. But you're right, ranged armor with the Meter ranged armor as well just means you're tanking TC fire no problem, and that's why they're so good at attacking 2 TC.
Now you can see this start. Ooh, okay, never mind. YZY, quickly. As you said, that's a lot of archers. Now, of course, Msn, he does have quite a bit, but with the units not all being together, this gave a little bit of breathing room to just be able to pick off a few and get those villagers back on the deer, because you need the food right now. +1 ranged attack coming in for YZY, so it tells us he wants to keep making archers, even though he may have seen those meters already.
That pilgrim was trying to just slide by, hit like just covering his eyes, nothing to see here, gets caught. Yeah, I mean the ranged armor helps the archers, it helps the TCs. He knows a dive's coming. He does not have a lot of units right now, and MSN basically needs to make something happen the next 2 minutes, it feels like. He has a lot more units now. KT will start to get more and more and more. Once again, that food from the wood just gives him so much ability to survive without food. And he's going to be dropping the farm, so you're generally he's getting the ram tech now. He wants to hit that push within 12 minutes, it feels like.
At what point do you decide to go for the sergeants? When do you decide to go for the sergeants? Because it feels like
too
expensive.
Because of the gold. It's too expensive, and they're so food expensive. It's much better to do mass archers when you're under this much pressure, which is why it's weird that he did Antioch. Because I feel like you want the healers instead, because you can make a couple healer boys and just let them heal up your units between fights. So both of them picked weird options. MSN with the Vizier option, YZY with the age up option. But here comes the ram. I assume we're going to see 2 rams.
Yes, he has to. This would be a very brave move to go without the right amount. And now he instantly uses the gold for the +1 range defense, because he realizes, hey, this is going to be a ton of archers. I am going to need to deal with this. And villagers tapping out that, those deer pretty quickly. The problem is, it feels like that is the main source of food that's going to be in a lot of danger pretty soon. Now, the villagers getting that upgraded tower, so critical at this moment, especially with the double ram coming in. But now, the spearman numbers are going to be great to try and shut this down, but the problem is the archers are scary. Not going for the tower, though.
Interesting, Emerson just did the Imam Vizier point. He left the Imams out in the front of the base. The Imams are just out at the front of the base. They're healing themselves. He sees it.
He sees it.
It might be a bait. Don't follow. Oh no. Oh no, YZY, don't follow. Oh geez. Oh golly. And that's a surround, and that's a lot of Sipahi. And he hits the fortitude. Wow. Was that fortitude the right move? I don't know. Ooh.
It feels like that was a really bad trade for him. The problem is spears died, yes. But you just lost one of your mechters. You are most likely going to lose one of those imams as well, as the archers are closing in. They are actually going for the military units instead. Imams stay alive, I say, but no. He pulls it back just too late, and MSN just bled the most important units of his comp.
I'm flabbergasted. I think part of it is that MSN made an interesting choice on that fight. Sapahi have this special click ability called Fortitude, where they can increases their attack speed, but they take way more melee damage. You usually do it when you catch villagers or archers out by themselves. He judged that there was not enough spears to be dangerous, so he hit the Fortitude, and I don't think he realized how many spears were there. There weren't a lot, but they just tore him up.
Enough.
Like he lost so many Sapahi on that fight, and also I don't think MSN had enough archers on that push either. So YZY lives. We're past the 12-minute mark. He's going to stop dropping more and more farms. And during this fight, he went out and took deer. So now he's on deer. MSN is not checking. And all YZY has to do is just keep making archers and spears. Just keep making archers and spears.
Now, this is, again, a very deep dive anyway. So with this, he sacrificed so many resources. But now, YZY is floating gold. He's a happy camper. This man can now just change the suit any time. Now, out on the deer. Ooh, hello,
where are these
boys.
villagers going?
Where are we going? YZY with the vision. Now these guys are going straight for the stone, most likely, to try and get an upgrade, right? I don't know. These guys are Knights Templar. They can just...
Are they towering?
They can just gather. Love that.
Is he doing a sneaky tower?
Yeah, he needs to get an upgrade for it, though. That would be funny. They're lost.
Okay, but here's the thing. The entire time this fight was happening, Pilgrim, he didn't leave any units to kill the Pilgrims. So the Pilgrim was going. He went out and took deer, so now he has food. This feels so KT favored at this point. Like, basically, YZY just needs to not die in this next push, and it feels like he's going to be in a good position. MSN has remasked very quickly. 32 spears is nothing to sneeze at. The tower, very well placed, so he's not going to lose the villagers on the deer. And honestly,
Sergeants?
oh, now YZY is going sergeants. I think this is a little bit of a bait. MSN has a lot of archers. If I'm YZY, I just keep making archers. You want that archer mass. But he wants to go into sergeants, and I don't think he can hold this TC anymore.
Now, with the archers, he just needs to keep sniping out things, because for him, that TC has already paid off. It's 14 minutes into the game. Even if he loses this, his whole point here is just to kill as many military units as possible without losing so many villagers. But 5 villagers in there are definitely happy about going down. Unfortunately, some of them will pay the price. But now, these archers need to keep picking off. He already got the value. He needs to pull back and make sure he survives for a bit longer, but it feels like these archer numbers are getting thinned out. MSN on 33 archers is crazy.
But that tower is feasting right now. It's been taking out so many archers. I honestly think, like, people are in the chat are saying sergeant throw. I agree. I just don't understand that. I would have preferred horsemen to sergeants. Like, if you really want to make units, use the gold to buy food. Like, I don't understand the sergeant. He's still going to hold because the amount of archers he's producing right now is off the wall and his eco is really good. But that was an interesting choice to say the least.
Now, YZY is significantly ahead with villagers, and like you said before, with KT, this is something you're always behind on. But now, it feels pretty good. The problem is just now with sergeants, he's making a lot of them, but it's still against a ton of archers, and that starts to feel more and more questionable as time goes on. Villagers back on gold now, but he's still staying solidly in feudal.
At this point, I just like... I don't like MSN has military schools. I assume he has 2. I don't know how he outproduces Knights Templar at this point. He only has 1. Like, I don't know how he outproduces him. I assume YZY has a good amount of farms at this point. He's on berries. He's on deer. I wouldn't be sorry if he takes boar soon. He does have 5 on stones. So it feels like he might do a feudal keep. Interesting enough, but it's just bad. He lost his imams. He lost his Sapahi mass. And for Sapahi, not Sapahi, for Ottomans, that's an issue. And right now he's towering MSN's wood line, though MSN caught it. It was a brave attempt. That's some low conk gameplay right there. Trying to tower the 2 villages that tower the wood.
Hey, if it works, it works.
If it works, it works.
Apparently
That was silly. That was just fun.
A top 32 gameplay as well.
I know.
We're not doing it wrong.
It's just silly. He's not doing anything wrong. It's more of just like, I think it's... I'm curious if he even sent those 2 villas on purpose. I felt like he thought he grabbed like archers and actually realized it was 2 villagers. But now the sergeant's numbers are starting to get bigger. they're starting to tank a little bit better. And if I'm MSN, I'm just asking myself, like, what do I even do? Like, how do I get back in this game? Because eventually he's going to burn through the food on the map as well. He has 1 deer pack left, I think, and 1 berry pack left.
Well, for him,
Yeah,
it seems like he feels confident enough to just keep pushing.
Honestly, those vills, instead of doing the tower, I think they should have proxy barracks and just sent units into his wood line. Actually would have been a better move. I like that from chat. But this is just... YZY is just going to keep making it... And he's going to passively gather the stone. I think at one point he's just going to drop a fort. And then at that point, it's like... What happens now?
Oh, but the problem with the supply is there's still so many to actually handle this. They pump out so quickly. I'm so surprised how well he keeps up with this. Mector's now coming down. Ah, both of them. And the supply going down next. Sergeant's going to be taking care of that ram finally. And the archers are going to try to prevail here. But the supply numbers are still pretty scary. The archers very quickly focus firing on the spears to make sure this is not just for YZY to tank, but that's still a, 13 villager difference.
Yeah.
So he's in a pretty good spot.
This has been the forever fight, and MSN has had some rough moments on the unit micro. The biggest thing is that he keeps putting his meter with the Sipahi, so when they charge in and then when they pull out, the meter runs behind them and literally just shows its butt right to the archers and they die. So he's had the meta issues. He's lost his EMOMs really early. This has just been like against the KT2TC, you need to play pretty tight to be able to get the attack you want with the amount of units you need. And MSN has just made a couple of mistakes here that have really set him back. And he's holding, like, YZY is not exactly pushing him across the map, but he's not pushing YZY into his base either. The one bonus, YZY is not on 2TC. If YZY was still on 2TC, this would be a much bigger issue, but destroying the TC does mean he's not getting, like, a massive build difference.
Let's go see what Vizier Point he went for. We heard that Vizier Point pops. What are we getting?
He got Anatolian Hills, and then, whoa, he got villager production speed. 75% faster vills for 4 minutes.
That on 1 TC?
YZY also has 2 minutes of TC idle time. I think that was happening during when the 2 TC was pushed.
Okay, that does feel like quite a lot now that I look at the number. 11 seconds per villager. It feels like a great comeback mechanic in a way, but at the same time, I don't think this is going to be enough here as these boys are just snacking right through them. We see a lot more archers coming out of the side of YZY, and MSN, it feels like he stopped producing archers as he's rallied most onto food for a while. Why does he have 30 on food? That's going to run out soon.
Well, it's funny because this really feels like we've done this archer fight for 5 straight minutes. This has just been them fighting with archers for literally 5 minutes. And the issue is that the longer this goes on, the better it is for YZY. His pilgrim's still going. Eventually, he's going to get this fort down that he's been saving for. He gets food from wood gather, so he's always going to be able to make archers better. Honestly, though, if the 800 stone was units, this game might be over already, but I guess he just really wants the fort. I'm curious where he's going to drop that fort, though.
Oh, he's already decided it's in his base at the gold. Isn't it? Yep.
And he's protecting his starting farms with it. Honestly, not a bad fort. I like it. I like it.
It protects his wood line as well, as he's migrated a little bit to the left of that fort as well. And now we can see people rallying around getting rid of the pilgrim. So now going straight for the deer pack as well. So MSN realizes, hey, this has to come from somewhere. So next up is going to be a bunch of villager kills. But at the same time, MSN has been catching up with that. Picks up both pilgrims here, but pilgrims will just be re-rallied onto the other side because now it's going to be a lot safer with a keep there. Very well.
Yeah, you could also just see YZY. Like, once this fort comes down, he'll get another one. He's just going to play left side of the map, secure the left sacred site, be fine. He's going on boar right now as well, and castle is legitimately within sight. Once he goes castle, MSN's nowhere near castle, and MSN's really burned through a lot of the food on the map. Second TC coming down as well. MSN's basically got to do a lot of damage right now.
MSN asking himself, is Ottoman strong enough to keep this push going? And wow, the split is insane to me. Still 34, 36. Yeah. Now going to be doing a little bit of a push here on the production buildings, actually. The problem is just the melee units. There's not a lot of them. So it does take a while to actually get there. And a ram being built on the other side of the map. That might be a misclick. Oh no, it's going to deal with the towers, I think. Yeah, there we go. He just needs to handle the tower.
It is annoying.
There's no wood
Those
line
two towers
access.
are annoying. Very annoying. This tower's fully upgraded as well, so he doesn't even want to try to push it. It just feels like where does MSN attack? You know what I mean? Like, I guess he's gonna try to deny this Pilgrim line, but really YZY should just take a second, age up, upgrade his archers, and you know, win the game. Though MSN has remassed a lot. 43 archers is no joke. Oh, he did go castle. We didn't see the. All right,
a little bit stuck,
and he's doing heavy spearmen. That's
exactly
right, folks.
What this comp needed.
These spears are heavy. They have been eating. They have been working out. These are some heavy, heavy spears.
That is
and
the
he's just
most
burning
worth
the tower.
it tower I've seen in a while. Look at that. It's going to get another villager. It's probably 3 dead villagers by now, just on that one single tower. That is disgusting. They got wood, though. Wood's back on the menu, ladies and gentlemen. MSN, he's snacking. But now the problem is we have 15 spears coming in. And guys, this composition from MSN is going to struggle just a tiny bit. And there's no food for the man. So the food is currently in a state of disarray, as this guy has spent everything on making units. So with these spears, there's a timing, and I feel like the timing is now. So unfortunately for him, the attack is imminent, and +2 upgrades coming in.
I don't know if I want to take this fight against 43 archers.
Yes, now's the time. Do it.
Are these sergeants upgraded? I don't think they are.
We don't need upgrades.
They are. They are. Okay.
Upgraded. They are upgraded. Yeah.
I mean, he has a meter. This might be a little. Well, the heavy spearmen are coming in. I guess at this point it's also just like.
It doesn't matter. This is over. Those spears are gonna tank things for days. These archers firing down 1, 2 more spears coming in. Disgusting. Everything's dead.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's also kind of worth it for YZ just to keep fighting, just to force MSN to keep producing. Like, you don't want to sit back and let him sneak a castle agent, so he just needs to keep throwing things at the wall here. These heavy spears have no direct counters, so he's going to keep building up that amount. He has 3 pilgrims going, and it's a GG.
YZY. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. So YZY showing us that KT is great again, and I didn't doubt it for a second. KT is KT. I was rooting for MSN because
YZY
he was not playing KT.
Gathered 3,000 stone in this game.
A
That's
little
insane.
bit more than Ottoman.
That he could gather that much stone and still be able to produce the amount of units he did. KT, fun civ. Fun civ.
Now, the early villager kill felt good, but MSN... I'm shocked at both these civilizations. The fact that both of them could keep up this production at this rate when it was getting this tight was insane. With no imams, with none of those initial mehters, especially after losing them initially, this felt pretty even for a while.
It felt even, but also felt like YZY was never really in trouble. Like, at no point was I like, ooh, this is looking pretty bad. Like, even when he lost the second TC, it was like, he has plenty of units. He almost threw with the sergeant switch, but the second he'd sniped the imams and slowed down the initial push, it felt really hard for MSN at that point. And YZY just played the KT2 TC the way it's supposed to be played, and it's really, really hard to beat. On the other hand, if we look at our next matchup, we have HRE against IUBID. Notice the civs that were sniped. Lancaster and Took. Black. Luck. Tough luck, Took.
Tough luck.
You're not being played this time. And so, as I said, I think it's really clear that it's a really good 7 hybrid. People don't want to play against it. HRE versus IUBID. What do you think about that matchup?
HRE and IUBID is also, I feel like an old tale of time at the moment. Because for a while, it felt like HRE does really, really well against this. But IUBIDs, they are pretty good at out-fast castling and also just catching the relics as fast as the HRE can. So I feel like, I have no idea. I don't know what the situation is with the current meta, but I feel like IUBIDs should win this in the early stages, especially when the Manjaniques start pushing and you get onto the Chapelle. But do we even see Chapelle? That's the real question. So HRE hasn't had a lot of airtime because they've been in a really weird place in the meta. So I guess these guys will tell us what is viable and what is not. But all in all, I think Aeobits has a little bit of an edge here.
Well, this is an interesting map, right? Because Dry River is a hybrid map. You do dock play on it, mostly because every pond has 5 shoreline fish. That's a lot of fish. So it's worth it. If you compare it to Rocky River on the ladder, which those lakes only have 3 shoreline fish, that's not as worth doing the fishing. Here it is. Both of these civs have legitimate good fishing openings. Iobid usually also has an option to do the really fast age up into immediate pressure on the docks. So I'm curious if HRE is going to open into a dock into units, or is going to open just units and try denial. Because Iobid has a lot of options as well. So I think the scouting is going to be interesting and how they play that out. Look at our current setup here. Louis has moved on. Numadon against Baltoon is 2-1.
Honestly, I'm really surprised to see that. That is wild. We have 3 games already completed between those two. Maybe this AoE break did them well. Now both of them have found the aggressive bone in their body. But Kiljardi and Valdi 1-1 now. And from what I've heard, Kiljardi has been showing a lot of teeth recently. Gramps is waking up and he's ready to take down the kid, it seems. But I would love to see what that one ends up as. And finally, the series we're all watching, YZY and MSN fighting for their spot as well. But Creator, already going to be going to tomorrow's qualifier. It's still a big name you have to face. A lot of these names that we see here today, I wouldn't be able to pick out like clearly who will make it. Because looking at this bracket, guys, we're still waiting for the game. So no worries. We get to discuss it for a little while. We have Creator, that is a very big name recently. Ayame showed a lot of teeth in the last time, and 2-1 is a pretty close one anyway. Then you have Numadon, who, you know, is in the running currently, but at the same time, Gully is also steadily improving. Scatterbrained at the same time, big name that comes in and out as time goes on, and I mean, you can go through the rest of that bracket.
It feels like Numadon is someone who's always been right there. Plays a lot, grinds a lot, improved a lot, and he's always just been right at the edge for making one of these qualifiers. I'm kind of looking through the rest of the list. I mean, anyone who made it today has a chance. I think it's people who lost it a little early that could surprise people. Scarlet Devil always all of a sudden has a series in him where you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? As well as Scatterbrain has also had moments of brilliance, and some other people have been working really hard recently. Sass has improved a lot. I'm still looking at the list here. I don't want to offend anybody if I forget somebody, but I don't know. This is, and honestly, Jiff. Oh yeah, Jiff. But I don't see him on for tomorrow. I don't see him on for tomorrow. Oh no, he is. Yeah, he's 7th. Yeah, Jiff also. Jiff Music has surprised some people as well. So there's. I just think that that tier below the top tier has a lot of players, all working really hard to get better, and it's only a matter of time before a few of them finally break through.
It's crazy to me that we've reached the point where it used to be like you had your top 2 and then you had your top 4, very clear top 4. And now the top 8 is starting to get a little bit blurry. And here from like 8 to, I would say 20, or not 8 to 20, let's say from 10 to 20. It's starting to get even blurrier. So these guys getting pretty close to each other in skill, and I'm just getting worse.
I think honestly a big reason for that is the civ diversity as well. When the game first came around and there were like 8 civs, a lot of the talk in these tournaments was how like everyone knew for this civ against this civ you do this, and it became about pure execution because everyone had the exact way you play against each civ. With 20 civs, a lot of times these guys are like, I can only pick, 10 I really work at. You can't practice every single matchup. It's impossible. With this new drafting style, your favorite civ might get picked off every single time. So pure execution skill instead transfers over into who has the best versatility, ability to read the map and the game and the situation and adjust faster. And I also think the skill leveling has started to break more even as well. Like, it's harder for the best players to get way better, but the people who've been improving can improve fast themselves. That's just an education thing. But yeah, it's been really cool to see.
Now, ladies and gents, we are rolling on in, and YZY opening with no dock.
No doc.
That's was not on my bingo card. I honestly thought AUBIDS is the obvious one, but you can see that that was expected from the other side. Like, hey, let's see if you're going for a dock. But apparently, MSN sees he doesn't go for a dock, goes for a dock of his own with all that wood. We can see that's going to be a nice fishing economy, and this probably makes him feel pretty good.
So my question is he going to fast age up into, I assume, just units? Like, he's going to do a very fast age up into immediate units and then attack the dock before it can pay off is going to be the move here, which IUBID is definitely capable of doing that. And that's the thing, is like, IUBID players don't really like doing any Dark Age fighting. So if there's a chance that's going to be spear versus spear, that's not really it's not really a strength of IUBID. HRE is just, their Dark Age eco so much better. So I think also the calculus is, as IUBID, I don't want to get into a Dark Age back and forth of HRE.
And I like this from an MSN. He's making sure that he gets one, or I guess 2 fishing boats for him, and then he's going to go for the age up. So his age up should match pretty equally. Well, it depends what YZY goes for, but I'm expecting him not to go for the cheaper age up, because that is definitely not something that you want a bonus to be stuck on. So in this case, I guess a good all military wing would do the trick, right? Or do we still go? No, we wouldn't go culture. Not a chance.
Well, healers are always a safe bet. He could do the logistics wing, the one that gives you resources. So the second he ages up, he can immediately drop production. Reinforcements is fine. Okay, he has reinforcements. The nice thing about reinforcements, you do get the free Desert Raider, and your cav can drop rams. So it allows him to then have a really flexible, like, movable comp and still siege if he needs to. And he gets that Desert Raider. So a lot of good options here. I think a lot of it's actually just personal preference. Like, what do you think is going to help you out the most in this situation?
Yeah, and with a camel, you have that ability to, like you said, to get the siege. You want to be able to get the ram out. And then once your ram's done, you just send your camel to go and raid. But MSN, he's going to match this very, very quickly. As we can see, already ready to click up with that age up. And 2 fishing boats is more than enough to really help. And with 7 on the age up, oh my goodness, Minework Palace is a choice here. I'm happy to see this, because with Minework Palace, you're going to have your special upgrades. You're going to be able to get your upgrades for cheaper. And especially in a matchup like the AUBIDS, every advantage helps. Just get another prelate. If you need the boost, just get another prelate. It is what it is.
Yeah, the All Pikes upgrade feels so important for HRE against IUBID, because the Horseman Desert Raider interaction is very weird. Like, they each counter each other. So it's kind of like whoever has the most in that moment will just completely wipe the other. But the +2 damage from the Alpikes upgrade, it's really big. And as well as just getting, like, your armors for cheap and fast, it just makes these early engagements so much better for HRE.
Now, I'm actually quite surprised to see how much he's saying, okay, cool, I'm going to stay on this dock, I'm going to get more fishing boats. But YZY is also moving out and getting his own docks down. Double dock placed already, so he's going for his own boats. And not... that camel is not going to be the biggest of concerns, I guess.
Yeah, I think, I mean, you can't just ignore water completely. He's already dropped 2 docks. So, I wonder if the thought process is, I'm going to open up with a few boats, and then I'm going to use my free Desert Raider to kind of, like, buy me time, and then I'll get into units. Did he drop production as well? Can we check his base? IUBIDS? He didn't. Okay, no. Here comes the Desert Raider. And he's using that Desert Raider to buy space.
But that horseman is going to be more than enough to handle this. We see that second prelate. Oh my goodness, he made the second prelate. I'm so happy.
Sick.
So getting that second prelate to make sure that you get all of your villages boosted, and beautiful. Getting ourselves a barracks. He's going to start pumping out units. Now the Desert Raider doesn't have a goal just yet. Just standing around, watching things as they progress. Second horseman also on its way out, but the horseman is going straight for the dock.
Desert Raider's just here, aura farming, just showing off. And here we have our first 1v1 interaction. Fight! And immediately the horseman needs to get out of here. Like, this is not a good starting attack for him. YZY is going to get a couple more hits in. I think what's also big about adding more prelates, one, you need the boosted eco. That's important. But the second big thing about the prelates is the ability to send your units back and heal. Because with YZY's choice, MSN now has feudal healing. He does not. So MSN can keep taking little skirmishes, slowly chunk down YZY's unit health.
And now getting a stable of his own, he is planning to make more units, but he's got 4 on gold here. And this is the interesting part. Usually when you get into a spot where you're having enough on gold, you get to make that decision. Hey, I've got enough on food. I have the 2 docks going to be busting in. I have a tower on my gold as well, which puts you in a spot where you're like, hey, I could invest more. With the amount of villages he has on wood, you can make a military ship to defend yourself, and then a castle age, it's a little bit different. But, of course, he still has to be careful. That is going to be a huge amount of horses that are going to be very annoying to handle.
Dang, those horsemen got harms. You see how far they're throwing the torches? They're just tossing those things. Yeah, and it's interesting because I'm curious if YZY commits to just pure Desert Raiders. That's been kind of the thing you see a lot from IU bids, and it can work. The HRE is able to use spears to catch up, but let me tell you, once you get a certain amount of Desert Raiders, it's really hard to break them. And so I think MSN's gonna be very wary about, at some point he needs to kind of force a fight just to make sure the Desert Raider number doesn't get too high. We already get the first boat protecting the first dock. At this point, YZY is ahead by 1 fishing boat, but MSN is sneaking out to dock the other 2 docks right now. And so
Disgusting.
now, a big thing is, like, both these players have to be so careful about the units in the middle of the map that neither of them can deny docks on the outside. Like, if YZY dedicated Desert Raiders is denying outside docks, that's an open lane for MSN to just dive his base for another docks. And so both of them have to be very careful with their positioning, and this allows each of them to try to, like, sneak some greed in different parts of the map.
Well, we've seen MSN make horsemen before, and this man, he controls them well. He brings them out of the darkness and springs them upon you. So him on this many horsemen already, I'm kind of feeling excited for the plays he would be making here. But of course, now you have to be careful to avoid those Desert Raiders. And so far, he has not been able to avoid those. The Prelate, you can see, is just inspiration for days. But villagers running quite far to deliver that wood. I'm actually quite surprised to see, because MSN is someone who optimizes pretty quickly usually. But he's making those villagers work hard.
And now he's going for the dock push. This one doesn't have a boat on it. I mean, a defensive boat.
Yeah.
The spears can sit here and delay as well. He's getting the Alpikes at this point. So once this comes through, he has melee armor, he has melee attack, and he has the Alpikes. His horseman will be ready to take a really good engagement. This is like his go point. He sees that the Desert Raider number isn't that high. Ooh, oh, and then if one more shows up, and that could be the difference. Ooh, those Desert Raiders.
Ooh, and
it's just too
before
much.
the upgrade comes in. Oh, that's so much damage.
Oh, then the military, he has double military boats. And this is why the location of YZY's docks is so important. He was able to take the 2 middle ponds, which means he now has 2 military boats covering the central avenue towards their opponent's base, which just makes any crossing by MSN very difficult and opens up this lane for YZY to pressure and then run and hide between 2 military boats every single time. It's just really well set up.
Oh, he wants to go in, but he knows how difficult this is going to be if he just loses 1 or 2 more horsemen. He's tried desperately to make a few more. He does have all those docks set up and ready to go, but oh my goodness, this is getting so scary. He needs to rally his units backwards, and we do see those prelates. They're healing up, but when they're healing, they are not inspiring.
And I think there's some argument to be made that maybe MSN should have gone to mass archers to counter Desert Raiders, but the issue is that he's making them out of stables. The second MSN shows archers, YZY can just go into horsemen. And even then, mass Desert Raiders do pretty well against archers themselves, so it's kind of a tough choice for HRE on this matchup.
But the horseman numbers, they are scary enough to make sure that this is not going to be easy. And they get on top. Ah, never mind, they don't get on top. The boats are everywhere.
The boats, it's so brutal. And, like, it just means that MSN can never really truly engage onto it. I wonder if YZY is going to start roaming here. Yeah, he's going to start roaming here in a second. He actually took the dock away from MSN on that right pond. So now they're each on 3 ponds. And almost similar number of boats as well. And now he's going to dock the other one as well.
And we see the villager backing off, but all the Desert Raiders are in position.
Ooh, this could be big. This could be big. That's a lot of horsemen. And no, he's not going to try for it. Every time he has a moment, like 2 more Desert Raiders show up, and then he can't do it anymore. That's how like small these margins are for this horseman fight against Desert Raiders is that like 1 or 2 more Desert Raiders can swing the fight.
Oh, when all these spears getting picked off is massive. Or not all of them, but a ton of them already getting dangerously low. And it just doesn't feel like MSN has an answer to this. His answer is going for the villagers, but no, he turns around and he's like, hey, let's fight this, Mr. Camels. But realizes this is not going to be something he can fight with boat support. Now, YZY still just making Desert Raiders. He sees this is a one-trick army and it works. Picks off tries to pick off a villager there from the dock, but doesn't get it. And now we need to see if that boat is going to get shut down. MSN making boats, making a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and YZY says, camels. There's more camels.
And now he has so many camels he can just shoot the boat. Have you ever seen a boat? It gets so many arrows taken that it just sinks? Because that's what he's doing.
Now, the horseman numbers, it feels good, but there's a different plan up for grabs. And it looks like MSN not making more horses here. He is thinking about other plans. And with 7 on gold, those plans include some creative things, I would say. I really hope to see this being a castle because even if he goes for a castle, what does he get out of it? There's nothing he really gets, but advancement wing coming out and YZY says, I'll get something out of it, brother.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Advancement Wing's so smart. He wants to get that age up now because aging up the Desert Raiders makes him, he can push immediately. He could get a healer if he wants as well. And he wants that timing. Like, this timing here is going to be so big for his upgrades into a push. What does MSN get out of an age up? He could go for relics and try to, like, out-eco. He could go Burger and maybe get better units to chase down. I don't know. It's tough. Like, there's no good solutions for HRE in this matchup, I feel like. Except, like, just a good push where MSN has to fight. Or YZY has to fight and MSN just has a few more units. But then he just does this. He just runs away. And the second they get away from the spears, he can pull and just start.
He gets this around, though. And this is a really good exchange for him, but he goes very, very deep here. I'm a little bit worried about this.
TC and a tower. And he just runs around. Like, he can just wait this out forever, right? He needs to keep this Desert Raider mass alive for the age up.
Now, you want to make sure that the Desert Raiders are completely thinned out, but now you have 3 horsemen left, and you've just sacrificed everything. Burgrave is coming on in. Emerson doesn't care about relics, he cares about units. And he wants to get that charge off even better. But now the problem is, YZY has units, and MSN, he has some boats.
MSN threw away every single horseman for like 3 Desert Raider kills.
And a villager.
And a villager,
no.
But that, I mean, YZY has played this so well. His location of his units, making just enough Desert Raiders to be dangerous, but then getting an age up in, getting a good amount of docks and getting his own fishing up. Like I've been really impressive with YZY in this game.
The real question is MSN in position to pick up the relics the moment he ages up? Because if he's not, he is not. This tells you he's going to get intercepted pretty shortly, as we see the red blob coming everywhere. But at the same time, crossbows coming out, and men-at-arms going to be the name of the game. And honestly, I feel like men-at-arms might just be the answer he was looking for. Yo, they're being built so quickly, especially with all this income. He does have the resources for this. Yeah. As I say that, I realize...
It's like, I mean, yes, if you want to use them, it's really but it's not a solution. You can buy tiny stuff like that. Oh, Desert Raiders are going to do so much work delaying this. Look at this, the kiting of the Desert Raiders is just so problematic for anything that MSN wants to do.
Oh, and you're starting to respect it. Pulls back now. But you can see the relic play from YZY is also already getting his dervishes in a spot as well. 14 men-at-arms already, though. This man, oh my goodness, he's just getting everything for those guys. He is fully committed to the men-at-arm lifestyle, and this is so MSN of him. Does he have a relic? Please tell me he has a relic.
He has the men at arm upgrades. I guess he could do a lost key here and try to get so many men at arms that he just runs to his base and wins. But these desert raiders are gonna kite him forever. And that's the nice thing that desert raiders, that every time he runs away, he's gonna run back up and get some hits. The second he does this, he's just gonna run away again. And the trades are just so good for YZY every single time, and then runs him into the boats again, and it's just the same song and dance, just again and again and again. I feel like YZY is getting more relics, but you're right, that was a moment for MSN. One, he never made more than 2 prelates in feudal, and you think he should have more prelates. And then if he had more prelates, then when he aged up, he could have had them spread out and taking relics already, but just missed opportunity. And I don't blame him. There's so much to be thinking about in these games. There's just so much happening.
The relics now going over to YZY side. We see that 2 of them are still on the map, so he's definitely got the advantage there to be able to make that move. But I see some blue dots over on his side on the big stone as well. So while this fight is going on, oh, there's a yoink, firstly, and on the stone. Can we take a quick look at the stone there? Ah, sneaky villager. I love that.
Ooh,
nice,
the sneaky vills.
Oh, but the camel's sword in the fog of war as well. The relic being yoinked from the ground. And now going to be picked up here. Wololo coming in, but... Oh, never mind. I thought he was at least going to scream to the skies for a bit. But he puts the relics right on top.
What's interesting here as well is that since he did a military wing, at any point in time when he feels like it's push time, his camels can just drop whatever CG wants and make the push. Like if he wants to, he could quickly drop like 10, like he could drop like 5 to 10 springolds and push with springolds into the men at arms. He could do mangonels or manganiques. But I'm curious, what is YZY waiting for? Like what's the point in time where he's like, I have enough to now win? Because both of them are kind of producing at an equal rate. Neither of them can. Oh, a second TC.
Yeah.
I mean, and MSN's getting the 17-minute wheelbarrow. That's going to be a big deal. And it just feels like anytime MSN tries to engage, YZY is like, see ya, and also here's like 20 arrows as you leave. It's tough.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like MSN has a plan here either. He goes for more crossbows, expecting to get camel lancers against him, but not a single camel lancer was thought about this game. It has been camels, but no lancers in that mix at all. And oof, putting that relic in the dock, that's going to be great once you get to keep it, but it feels like that one is not going to be for the keeping, especially with all these camels that can switch to melee form at any point. But men-at-arms, still focusing on those men-at-arms. And like you said, if he's got enough, maybe there's a timing where he can just push and take everything down. But with the amount of units coming out of YZY, this feels like mission impossible. MSN now, thinking about the relics here, he's going to be able to secure his base. He doesn't have the stone he needs for upgrades and such, but especially against this composition, I feel like he needs it.
Yeah, I feel like, oh well, there nairs that keep coming down for Ivy. I feel like there is definitely something to be said about maybe if he could just secure, like, get walls up to delay to stop raids, maybe get a keep down somewhere. But it's just like any time a fight needs to happen, he just can't engage into it. And now YZY, I mean, he got the second TC down. He's now getting a keep down. He's now switching into crossbow horsemen. Interesting enough, no more desert raiders. I'm curious. Yeah, he's not including them in the army. So right now, he's doing this switch on the low, but that's 24 men-at-arms. He's gonna need a lot of crossbows for that to be viable. But it feels like he's actually doing a secret switch of his units, and once he has enough, then he'll go in for the kill. But until then, he's just gonna use these desert raiders to delay.
And that is a very viable answer here. With the crossbows, he should be able to get these out pretty quickly anyway. Now, the problem is the food is going to start running out, and there's only one of these civilizations that have an easy-ish time to do a food transition. So HRA is going to be able to do that a bit simpler, but because of the prelates, of course, I say that, and I see there are 8 prelates in question here, but you still have to ask yourself, aren't there just going to be camels on top of you to take them down? But ooh, this looks like it could be some kind of surround here. A few of the desert raiders going down, but no more desert raiders are being made.
You know, I mean, that's a really good point in that Ibid has the worst farms in the game. So if this becomes fish pods are gone, we're now moving into farms. H3 farms are going to be better. That is a pain point for them. At the same time, though, oh, that's a good rate. The unit quality is in YZY's favor. I feel like the Desert Raiders are really good in Imperial if it goes there. These crossbows have the special upgrade that when they get a kill, they get movement speed, so they can gap close after a kill. They can do manganiques, they can do spring ults. There's just like it feels like IEBITs have a military answer. So then the goal of ooh, that's not that's a good find. So then the goal would be an economic answer from MSN, but the path there is going to be a difficult one, especially after losing all these villas.
That is a huge amount of losses for MSN, especially. MSN is not. Oh, his base is so unkept. You can just see places for raiding everywhere.
Oh,
now
those
crossbows getting caught out.
Let's say crossbows with no front line. Find the massive horseman. The horseman switch and crossbow switch is here, and I feel like we're starting to see the start of the plan coming together here. Now the Desert Raiders are rejoining with the horsemen, the crossbows. Once the crossbows catch up, these men-at-arms are going to have a tough time. The horsemen are just going to dive straight into the HRE base, and they cannot be caught. They're faster than anything that MSN has. Now he's just going to turn and burn this dock. I don't know if that's worth it. I think all the fish are gone. But at this point, it starts to feel like things are going to get tougher and tougher for MSN, who basically just has crossbows at this point.
And those crossbows are great in theory if you're up against camel lancers or anything of the sort, but these Desert Raiders are just having a field day. Sure, he's able to pick off a few, but in a one-for-one trade, this is a YZY with full map control, a keep, and able to move out also with that second TC. He's just getting further and further ahead as we see 32 total villager kills already rearing its head, and MSN desperately trying to use this market, but
buy food,
there's not much left to save.
It's starting to look pretty tough here. I think YZY's has just been orchestrating this perfectly. He had exactly the steps he needed to take to be successful. He's got his walls up, food secured with farms. He's got to keep up. At this point, I don't know what MSN can do besides a completely insane like throw from YZY here.
I'm actually so shocked to see at how this worked out in the end, because it felt like MSN was okay by that point when we talked about him being able to food transition, and then all of a sudden there was a camel raid.
Well, it's because YZY saw all the men-at-arms appear on his side to raid, and the second he saw that, he went go time and just ran to his base. And MSN doesn't have any walls. No walls from MSN means nothing actually stopping the Desert Raiders, and it's GG.
YZY looking like a competitor of the top to try and qualify for for next week's cup, and this is disgusting. Is our resources stuck? Yeah, I was about to say Knights Templar. What? 3,000 stone this game too? This guy's crazy. Lots of stone, but YZY doing an absolutely smashing job at keeping MSN at bay.
YZY just clinical, surgical in this gameplay. It was beautiful. Hell yeah.
And now, this is match point. This is the qualification station, and we have arrived. YZY.
Choo choo.
Choo choo, boys. Just keep in mind, it's 4 a.m. for YZY. So, this man is playing at this quality at 4 a.m. So,
Gamers don't need to
10 out of
sleep.
10. He said, Cal just told us he went to bed at 7 a.m. his time yesterday. So this man is running on no sleep. Maybe that's the advantage he's had. Maybe this is what you need to get to this level, is just no sleep, only game. He wants to close this out, guys.
No
this is going to be the final
only
game. YZY said so.
Where does he come from Twitch chat? China, correct? Am I right on that?
China, yeah. But look at this fight. This was the fight that lost MSN the game. I feel like this was the critical point. The moment he dove this deep, he threw it.
He needs enough horsemen to fully surround, because if he just lets him kite, it's just not going to go well for him.
And YZY showing us camels are king. I remember when I was trying to do the Only Cams series, when I would just make only camels. And honestly, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
But I think with Yeah, but that was back when we didn't have AU bids. I think I should give it another try. After watching this, I'm inspired. These guys are pretty feisty.
Well, it's funny how both of them have won a game where a horse archer unit is like the main way they won the game. And it just shows that, I mean, horse archers are such an amazing unit. Any civ that has them, they're such an amazing unit, but they require so much high level, like micro to make work. And YZY just had great control of his Desert Raiders the entire game. Like ultimate control of his Desert Raiders. And we got the next matchup. We got YZY on French versus MSN on Golden Horde. What do we think about this matchup on Dry Arabia?
Ooh, Golden Horde's cooked. Absolutely cooked. Yeah, I know. I had this conversation with a few people and I got told, I was like, yeah, this should be okay for Golden Horde. No, apparently it is not okay for Golden Horde. You just have better knights. So, knights against other knight, dead. That's it. That's the combination. You can't shut down French and Dark Age. Have we ever heard of a Golden Horde rush?
Spear rush.
With spears? No, we haven't. And French on Dry Arabia, depending on the spawn here, I feel like, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one because Golden Horde, just like French, they go out. But the knight to Khan aggression, knight wins. So even with the horses that they get, they just are worse knights. So all in all, they might have more horses for a while. Yeah.
I think there is, on some maps, I think Golden Horde can do okay against French. This one, with how far away food could potentially be, this will be a little tough, especially with the nerf to stockyards recently that made stockyards more expensive. It used to be that Golden Horde could just survive on, like, if they could secure like one deer pack and then immediately go into stockyards, there was kind of a use spear and hold mechanic that you could do and then get to castle. But it feels a lot harder, man. Or like it feels a lot harder than that now. And I think Golden Horde just really has to play around towers. I think it's a small bonus, but the towers, with how much tankier they are, plus the edict that gives you more health. If you can force fights around your towers and then use the health to take better fights, that's a way to try to force French into a bad fight. As French, you got to avoid those type of fights, secure food, deny food, and if there's a push in feudal, great. But I think another classic, just like mass knights until you can get a castle timing upgrade fight, because the weakness of Golden Horde is that their age up is super slow. So if you can catch Golden Horde on a slow age up while you get your knights upgrade to castle, that's an over.
And one thing you mentioned there is about the food. A Golden Horde goes out on the map. You get a Golden Horde moving out at every stage of the game. If you want to shut down Golden Horde, they're going to be on deer. They're out there. But so are you as the French. So from what I've seen in the last game, I feel like the better raider will take this. Yeah. And MSN has an uphill battle.
It really feels like Khan and Torgood should be used to just constantly raid while you build a spear mass. And then actually just make horsemen. I would make Keshiks. It's too expensive. You do horsemen, Torgood, Khan, and spear. And every time you secure food, just drop a tower. And I think you got to be aggressive on your first food grab. I think you do the style where while you're aging up, you get a lot of wood, secure the first deer, and play around the first deer pack.
One thing that I've seen work in this matchup as well for Golden Horde is, like you mentioned with the Horseman Spears, it just outdoes the Archer Knight combo from the French, especially when you are able to get on top of the archers. But then the other thing is, do we not just go for a bunch of knights and overwhelm? Because we've seen a lot of players do exactly that. They just control the knights perfectly, raid around, and yeah, put them...
The funny thing is, Torgood with Khan damage bonus, and if you do the cheap Torgood of extra health, they actually on cost-to-cost basis hold up really well against knights. The issue is you can't produce them as fast as French can produce knights. But if you can get enough of them paired with spears, paired with horsemen, you can take a good fight. Especially, and once again, if you make French take a fight that's favorable for you, near a tower with the health bonus, I do this thing where I play a civ for a few days in a row. I tried a lot, and I was surprised how much that little health buff can actually make fights turn. But it's not easy. I think the road for the Golden Horde player is more difficult than the French player. on this one for sure. But hey, it's time for MSN. I mean, if you look at his options, think about what he could have done. He's on Dry Arabia. He has to put Malians out there, so he knows whatever one he puts against is going to be picked. You go JD, 2 clock. It's like, I think Golden Horde's your best bet there on Dry Arabia.
I would have loved to see a little JD action.
JD against French
is a worse French.
You don't do JD into French
Really?
at that level.
It's that bad.
It's really bad because French can get more knights, and on French versus JD, who has the most knights, and JD just gets like killed constantly. just gets wrecked.
Imagine a bunch of nice JD spear movements. See, I've been facing up against French a lot on ladder. I feel like French is turning into a very popular civilization again. Guys, remember those days when the only civilizations we saw were HRE, English, and French? On ladder, it's starting to feel like a mishmash of KT and French. And French, it feels like such a well-balanced civilization in general. Like, you have constant pressure on the map. If you are an aggressive player and you actually don't run your knights into TCs and spears, you actually get a really good return for that, for those extra villages and so on. But now, with Golden Horde, what is their bonus that keeps up with the knight or with the French bonus of the villagers?
Well, you get more villagers. I don't know how that compares, because technically Golden Horde produces villagers faster than the average civ. I think it's still a little bit slower than French, but they're keeping up. Their stockyards are much better than farms, but they are an expensive initial investment, but they are better than farms. The production speed, once you start getting a lot more productions buildings on around towers, is really good. Health bonus is good, but you know, they're knights, man. It's French has knights, so that's tough. Anyway, we're in it. We have MSN on Golden Horde on the southern part of the map, and we have YZY for my Canadians on the northern side of the map.
Now, looking at our spawns, we have a nice back gold here from Mr. French, and a nice little wheelbarrow opening, which makes sense. You are not too phased about getting your knight out a few seconds earlier. You want to get your upgrades.
Whammin'.
So,
Whammin'. Whammin'.
Yeah.
Look at the deer for Golden Horde. Look at the deer.
Is that a beastie spawn? Oh, not a beastie spawn. Sorry, is that a marine lord spawn? That's a marine lord spawn.
If I'm YZY, I am... Pause the game. Pause the game. This is one wall from having 2 deer packs, 2 berry packs, and a stone. All behind your base. That is insanity.
That is, and the funny thing is, guys, just so you know, this game had to be remade because I think YZY crashed. I feel like he crashed himself into game number 5 here. That is a beautiful spawn to have. Unfavorable matchup, but a beautiful spawn.
I cannot believe this spawn. And on top of that, if MSN just drops the tower on that deer pack, he secures deer and berries. And protects his second Uvu, which is also in the back of his base. Look at that! What is this?
YZY about to see this and going back in shambles, thinking, hey, maybe shouldn't have crashed the first time.
like literally I actually can't get over this. This is everything is behind his base. This is it's like the AoE4 gods decided they want a game 5. They're like, we must have one. But we'll see if YZY can overcome.
Yeah. And now, usually in the Dark Age, we're not expecting anything crazy, of course. But in Feudal, this is now the big question of Golden Horde. What do we age up with? And if it's not Canon the Door Goods, I will be shocked, I say. He pulls off of gold at the exact moment, though. He gets 1 extra gold. Very, very unfavorable. I can't believe MSN overmined like that. Disgusting. But sends them all on food instantly.
Yeah, building carts is a throw. Building carts, I feel like, is only usable on hybrid, where maybe you'd use it as a dock drop. But I think the biggest issue is building carts just take so long to like actually build. Like they don't just instantly build. You have to like wait for them fully. It's such a waste of time. No, you gotta go contour. That's what she does. And we're not seeing the trade landmark. That's surprising. I'm joking. But the very normal upgrades, I'm curious if MSN is going to go straight into a tower drop into production, which is a little bit slower, or is he going to open production into it and then like secure a tower later? That's what I'm curious about.
Now, MSN making sure he gets all the wood in the world as needed. And now, if I'm MSN, I ask myself, like you said, we have to be aggressive with our food sources. French, looking at the sheep situation, are not the greatest, but of course this is dry Arabia. You do have enough for that initial bunch. The deer pack is in China. The other one, a little bit exposed.
Serbia.
Yeah, that's my goodness, man. I'm about to go visit that deer pack. It is far. And for him, this now begs the question of how am I going to be able to just get the real damage with my knight? Let's go see what that villager is building at the back there. Hello.
Immediate barracks.
Barracks, yeah.
Opening barracks, which is tough because it might be in range. Like, you really want your production to be in range of the tower, but he's going to want to tower the deer. Which means his barracks won't be under tower unless he's a little bit careful with it. And this also might have been a match where it would have been worth it for MSN just to deer push to get as close to his gold as possible. But yeah, gotta open that, get a few spears out, and then he's gonna use the spears to secure the tower location, I think.
This feels so good. Just getting those first spears out, you're gonna respond to that knight without breaking a sweat. Your Khan is gonna follow suit. And then your Khan's the one raiding, while the knight is desperately just trying to get one charge off without getting impaled.
Mm-hmm. And this is key. Like, he can use his Khan and pull at least one knight on the French side of the map. Like, one knight then has to stay on the French side of the map to stop the Khan. And he's actually going to go for first Uvu. Or fresh Uvu instead of... Is this going to stop the Uvu? Oh my god.
Apparently so.
Oh my god, he denied the Uvu.
Oh my goodness. Can you believe it? And the villager shift clicked backwards, I guess. I don't know if this was intentional or if it was just backwards, but we do see the spears making their way forward. And instead of just staying and securing the area, he's like, hey, I could just send these and make more.
I actually like this a lot because technically your best time to push French is like now. Because he opens up with immediate Khan, double Torgood, and 2 spears. YZY has 1 knight. And YZY has to drop a tower immediately to protect his gold. So this actually is a great moment for him to push across the map and potentially deny deer. If he can deny the deer, keep YZY in his base, this is a great start for MSN. I don't think he can stay there permanently once the archers come out, but I love this early aggression. This is actually a great moment for him to try to keep YZY contained.
And I think a great learning moment for all of us Twitch chat. I hope you guys wrote down your notes for the game. The knight gets the charge, not off, but the spears will deter them. He might be able to get a hit off eventually, but the spears are doing the work. And already out there on the deer, we can see villagers building it up quickly. Oh, charge gets cancelled. That is major. And he will get a villager kill though, but the knight already off HP, and he's going for another one.
Oh,
the villagers are fighting back.
Oh, no, the other spear was killing the scout. Oh, no. That's so worth. The delay of the tower, 2 Vil kills, massive. Absolutely massive.
The knight getting its first charge off pretty quickly. But now YZY, he's getting the gold he needs. So this is... Ooh, and he's already planning to move out to the deer. He realizes how important this is. You're on deer, I need to go on deer. And with you only having spears, that's not really a problem of mine. But with the gold that he has... Oh, also getting survival techniques pretty quickly. He knows how important this is going to be. To just keep making knights.
They're both getting survival techniques. And I mean, I think this is what MSN was trying to deny. But the early night dive completely broke the focus, the ability to do that. And now YZY gets to go back out on deer. Which I think MSN really had a chance to stop that. But instead, as long as he secures his first deer pack, he's in a good spot right now. Production-wise and unit-wise. I'm curious if he goes for another barracks. Does he do a stable now? He's going to cross immediately. Is he going to cross? He can. That's only 2 knights. Like, honestly, he could cross with all of his units right now and be fine, but he's just going to send cav.
And more knights are underway, and we do have the archers that are going to try and be a little bit of protection, but they're quickly going to get cleaned up by these other units too. Now, the knights looking for a bit of damage. The problem is just everything is in one spot. The spears can just stand exactly there, and there's 8 of them already. MSN is a very happy camper.
Yeah, I mean, this is a dream start for MSN. Outside of the 2 Vil loss sucks. Like, that's unfortunate, and it really hurts. At the same time, though, you got a lot of food secured. You got your second Uvu down. You're pumping spears. You're going to have consistent Torgood production. And no lie, the Karash, and if you can get melee armor as well, like, or ranged armor, if you get the Karash with the ranged armor, your spears do a lot better. Your Torga do not take any damage from archers, and that starts to become like a legitimate good fight for you if you want to take that.
Oh, this tower, we'll see where those are coming from. The problem is now Keshiks are on the way, and YZY feel like he's unprepared for this. Now, Keshiks are worse knights, sure, but they do pretty well against your 4-5 little archers and knights, especially when they're accompanied by 11 spears. That is a huge amount for you to try and focus fire, and those few archers are not going to be able to do so. And he's not constantly producing units.
I don't know. I think I'd rather have the gold be used on upgrades. He has no eco or military upgrades outside of survival techniques. Oh, that's a great die by YZY. Perfectly found. Didn't get the wall up in time. That's 2 more villagers. Like, if this game ends up in YZY's favor, I think a big part of it's going to be these early villager rates. 4 villagers down already. That's a significant amount of eco. But it is expensive to make these double Keshiks. That's, I think, 240 gold and 200 gold every click. Every time you go for it, it is 2 Keshiks, but like, I don't know. Right now, YZY has the Vill lead and has all the eco upgrades. That means his eco's already a lot better. And he's going to put into units. He's got to win this. He got one. That was pretty big. And now the spear's going to be here, but here come the archers. Can he take this fight? He has no... I would have really loved ranged armor before he took this fight, but I think he feels the need to get damage. He feels like he has to do something after losing 4 vills. So he's going to go for these vills on the deer.
Oh, and those villagers being on the back deer, there is a bit of an opening in the archers. They have a target in mind, and that garage is exactly it. So trying to get any bit of damage on that group, but doesn't find anything just yet. And YZY... Now 7 villagers ahead. That French boost alongside 4 kills is feeling extraordinary.
I mean, he's about to have 6 Keshiks. He's going to get another Torgid pack soon. If he waits for I think YZY might be surprised how much heavy cav he has in a second. And he's going to snag those 2 archers. That's really nice. But he really, he's getting wheelbarrow and ranged armor now. That's going to be really important. I don't know if I'd want to take this fight before ranged armor.
Yeah, he quickly tries to target fire what he can, but that's the problem with all of these horses on top. Villagers going into the tower. He needs them to be in there. Oh, the knight's getting impaled. He needs to pull back here at the same time. The horse is taking quite a bit of damage, but the archers are focus firing what they can. The knights have lost focus, and a few of them are just fighting the spears head on. A bunch of them... Ooh, taking a lot of damage, and it feels like that was a pretty rough trade, especially considering he doesn't have chivalry.
That was an amazing fight, and I don't know if I would re-engage as wise. Ooh, there's a lot of low health knights. It is so worth it for MSN to dive onto this.
Now with the Keshiks, he tries to... Oh, the cool HP ones are there, though. It looks like he's got enough to actually try and do something about this. It feels a little bit strange to see YZY on 1 food, though, because we realize that's all he's got. He's got villagers in the north, now desperately trying to get a little bit of income, but the production has completely halted.
Wow. I mean, if MSN had 2 more spears, I think he wipes those knights. That's how close it was. But it still was an amazing engagement. Pushes him off deer. And he knows. He knows he has to be on the deer pack north, in the berries north. So the second he's done burning this tower, he's probably just going to rotate over and go check that. Yep. And now MSN can go take his other deer pack. He's still finishing up his first one. Has MSN started dropping stockyards yet? I'm curious. Let me do a very quick peek. Yes, 2 stockyards. That's pretty big. That's a lot of food.
That's 8 farms already set up, and having a position like that feels insane, especially when you are just here to keep on producing and denying French. He's putting himself in such a good spot to just keep taking this. Now, I hope for his sake that there's a tower over there, because I have a feeling this is going to be disgusting. There's no tower as a million villagers are idle, running for their lives.
Honestly, if I'm YZY, I might consider making spears just for home defense. The number of cav for MSN is getting super high. Yes, you're matching of knights, but... Oh, counter raid, which is exactly what he needs to do. He has to run.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, they're coming back! Lord have mercy! Oh, we missed it! Oh, let's go! This is crazy. He doesn't get a single vill. That was...
They could just put a tower down. They could put 2 towers down. He's got the wood. Boys, put the towers down. Survive. Because right now, that's the only hope you've got. YZY? He's a brave man. Let's go see. Is he building the towers? You see the blobs?
Two ships crossing in the night, just completely walking past each other. Now, Msn is taking this time to wall the right side of the map, which now secures him a whopping deer pack, berries, just amazing. On the flip side, YZY is on both deer packs and berries. This feels like he's on a razor's edge. He's on a razor's edge. If he can't hold this, it's game over for him. Like, he needs this food so bad. He has no farms. And Msn already getting down stockyards is such a big deal. It's so much consistent food. They're better than farms. Like, like the 2 stockyards on 8 is much better than 8 farms. So it's a great investment for him. Oh my god. And that's a lot of knights. Okay, YZY has gotten the knight count back up, but the spear count is also rising as well. He just has to avoid taking this fight till the spears get here.
Now, that's an interesting part here. Now we've gotten the point where, hey, Msn had to invest in the stockyard, so it did slow him down a little bit. But YZY, as we see, this engagement, he needs to just focus out the spears, and then he should be able to take this. These knights are basically full HP again, and not minding a good old charge. The scout getting dangerously low, and even the spears are now falling victim to these knights. But he does have to be careful. The archer's in position, and you see the Keshiks. He's just trying to get every single charge off he can.
The biggest issue is Msn didn't respect the knight remassing and didn't make the amount of spears he needed to properly take this fight. Now he's just going to run half of his cav right onto the archers, and he's going to turn out and try to grab a few. A Karash here would actually be a really big deal. Missing that really hurts. I don't know if this is the fight he wants to take. He's away from TC. That's a lot of knights.
And he's already lost every single spear he had.
Oh, this is not the fight he wants to take. Oh, I think he misread the numbers on that. The funny thing is, Msn has the resources. He has plenty of gold he could use to buy food. He needs the remass spears way heavier than he has. Oh, don't go back out, Msn. Oh!
He's charging in, thinking that this is the answer. More spears following in, but the problem is the archer numbers are still there to try and stop this. He's not on top of them, and quickly, just making quick work of everything here. The Khan is doing his best at doing the little damage he can, but the knights prevail because they're just better knights.
You know, honestly, that fight didn't go as bad as I thought it was going to go for Msn. I think we don't realize how good the Khan damage boost is, and I think Msn feels okay about taking that fight because now that he's fully on deer and berries with a few stockyards, I think he feels like his remassing ability is really good. He's now going into archers, which I am a little concerned about. I don't know if massing archers at this point is going to help very much. I think he just needs way more spears, which as Golden Horde, you're perfectly capable of massing a lot of spears. So now this becomes a knife's edge for Msn. Can he remass well enough to take a good fight here? YZY is now back fully on food. He's burnt the deer pack. He's aging. Oh, wow. YZY has turned this game around.
The problem with aging here is, does he have the resources to keep this age? I guess so, because he's going to be able to go back onto the deer pack on this side. He's already back on there. He's still got a few berries in the bank, and his 3 little farms just sustaining a whole economy. But look at that. Msn, you are a hungry boy. But the problem is he cannot age up. He's just stuck making units.
And here's the thing. This is the worst position to be in as Golden Horde, because your age up cannot be rushed. Your age up will take the amount of time it takes, and it takes so long. And this gives YZY all of this time to set up the perfect dive. And on top of that, while he's aging, he can't make core good. So that also means one key part of his comp is just unmakeable during that time. It's going to be really hard. He's basically going to have to make a whole bunch of spears, take fights only near his TC, and hope he can survive till age up. He has the food. If he can get to age up, he has great food economy now, but the numbers are just really tough.
And every unit he bleeds like this brings it closer to being game over. We see the villagers just popping in. He's desperately just trying to survive this. The TC Fire honestly could do the work he needs it to do. And you can see Dot instantly focusing the archers only, because that's the only thing that matters here. Khan doing its best here too. Villagers popping in and out. But overcommitment here from YZY a little bit.
Feels like the villagers popped out to give a little slap. And oh, maybe a little bit of an overcommitment. All of a sudden, here comes 6 Keshiks around the corner that he wasn't expecting. And now this is going to be a rundown. A little bit too aggressive from YZY.
We see this now too many times. People are just diving under TCs, sacrificing so much, and every single time paying the price. Now MSN's like, hey, I'm just going to keep making units. No need to age up anymore, boys.
Well, I think this opens up his age up, honestly. He's saving for it now. He stopped making units.
Oh.
He's going to get there, but it'll take a long time. Now, now the bonus is YZY. That's the right choice. The bonus is that all his villagers are working, so he can still produce while this age up's happening. It's just going to take a while, and I think he might have overstepped a little bit. Both sides keep going a little too far on these chase downs.
Oh, those spears. They need to turn around and try to give the archers a bit of breathing room because the knights are just working their way through them. Now, knights getting on top, spears, just everything here. This is where you turn your knights, your spears around, even if you just have 2, and try to get your archers out, because right now everything is just bleeding. YZY, he starts to push, and honestly, with those orbs, he is going to get a pretty solid comp. Every upgrade in the book now on his side, and farm transition, feeling alive.
He just, and once again, where's the spears? The remass on the spears was a bit slow. He might only have 1 barracks, which is really painful. He needs at least, I would love 3 barracks at this point. This is another good engagement. The archers are not here to snipe spears. These spears are doing a lot of work, but he can't fit all those villas in the TC. He can only fit 15. So now villagers are dying. The spears are now dead. There's not enough spears on the, oh no. Oh no.
They're trying to stay alive. Oh my gosh, there's Keshiks trying to stay alive here too. Villagers are now ready to fight as well. Knights, you are no match for my villagers. But the archers are trying to perform miracles. Keshiks at the back there trying to clean up what they can, but he sees the villager fight is not something he needs to take.
Oh man. This is just so
around,
painful.
Impale them, impale them. You're just getting killed for no reason, sir. Oh no.
Now, these knights didn't have 2 ranged armor, which would have made this dive even more successful. MSN hits age up, but what now? He has no resources. He has a lot of wood. So if he can get YZY to back up, the one thing he has going for him is that he has a lot of stockyards. And he could parlay those stockyards into a comeback potentially. He has enough wood to drop a 2nd TC, because Golden Horde does wood-only TCs. So he could drop a 2nd TC, use YZY to hold. And also YZY provides passive wood, so he's getting a lot of wood right now. He is going to survive this push, but the road ahead for MSN is going to be a tough one.
I mean, YZY is also not at a deathly amount of units here. He's getting his relics too. So, all in all, great position for YZY. But now, what upgrade is that MSN is getting for the stockyards?
That improves the stockyard. Right. If I'm YZY here, you already have, what, 600 food in the guild hall? Just start going heavy on gold. Get your keep down. Go heavy on gold. Go imp. There's no reason to push into this base. There's towers everywhere. He's going to go heavy spears. Just age up, honestly. MSN will take forever to catch up. And you're kind of throwing away the issue of potentially dying in like a base dive. He is doing mass arbitrary, but...
No. He doesn't care, Papercrack. He's like, I'm just going to keep pushing, boys. Watch me go. And the stockyards are completely exposed there. He doesn't even put a tower on them. Not those. The ones at the bottom, there are more, and they are very, very exposed.
He's rushing the tower.
That little tower? Yeah, that little tower is not enough.
I'm trying to say, what edict does he have in his golden tent? Because he needs the health one on, but he needs to get this tower up for that to work. No, he has the production speed, and he needs to make his con and Tor good. And he hasn't remembered. Oh no.
Now at the tower, ready to perform miracles, but spears need to get on top of the knights, and on the knights they are, but the crossbows are doing works. Arbs don't feel like they're melting whatsoever. MSN, it doesn't really get any upgrades for those towers either.
I be running.
He's like, now I can eat berries. Cheers.
So the thing for Golden Horde is that because you're getting this stone from the Uvus, you can tower spam really easily. and like get a bunch of upgraded towers and hold that way. But it just feels like he's so far behind. I feel like there is a glimmer, and that is like just booming, getting stockyards down, hold. Golden Horde does have a sneaky passive eco if he goes the Stockyard Edict and is able to get gold from stockyards. That can help him as well. But it's going to be him having to do some insane defensive holds for that to work. And as I said, like YZY has all of his eco upgrades, all of his military upgrades. He has a guild hall pumping. So at any point in time in his back pocket, he has an Imperial Age, and this just feels like a massive uphill battle for MSN.
Now the Knights getting on top of the stockyards again. Even just getting a charge or two off feels worth it. It gets Villager. But now he keeps diving. He keeps diving. The spears chasing the Knights. It makes a lot of sense. But now we have spears coming for the crossbows.
And
sure, they are gonna be able to clean, at least do some cleaning. But now the Knights are causing so much idle time, and these arbs are just taking care of anything that even looks at them funny. Now the Knights are running all free just at the back, and no one is willing to take care of them. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're dead. They're all dead.
They're dead. They're dead. Not all of them, but a good amount of them. And this is just, YZY has not let his foot off the gas 1 second. He knows to give Golden Horde space is really, really bad. And so he's just been literally, it feels like he's just been rallying his units into MSN's base.
Oh my gosh, there's just so many dead villagers. Yes, lots of dead Knights, guys. That is a ton of dead Knights. But when you have 30 dead villagers, it feels okay. It might be worth it. It might be worth it. MSN now having no gold income either. He is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Take a quick look at the relics, please. I believe that's 5.
Red
on
Palace.
The side. Yeah, that's 5. That's 5. YZY not going to be having any income problems late game either. Getting himself into a spot where he can just push from the Red Palace and fall back and be protected.
Yo, this is just not a good situation. This is the right push. He catches him dropping the Red Palace. Does he have enough units in here? I mean, it's only 20 villagers building it, but the Pavis Arbitrier are just so good. And they're going to tank this. Their melee armor is like 5 at this point. Red Palace is coming up, and I think we're going to see a GG right after this thing hits.
Red Palace into GG. Garrison, my boys, we say, and just get everything under it.
Thonk.
MSN stays.
MSN stays. It is match point, I guess, but I'm not. What's in the in the end game? I'm not feeling so good. It's
just slowly disappearing into the
background.
Just
slowly disappearing. I don't know. I mean, all these games are defined by these like sliding doors moments. MSN catching the villagers out in the open and completely missing like 10 villager kills. His opportunity to get there and like have a good fight, but he didn't make enough spears, didn't catch the villagers out. Took a bad fight in front of his base and all fell apart. Like, just like that. And that's what it feels like fighting French a lot of the time. It's like you feel like you have them on the back end, then one bad fight and they're back in your base and everything falls apart.
I see Twitch chat also saying that Red Palace should have been in the base. No, we want to secure the sacred sites and then build siege and siege our opponent down from the front. You don't need to think about your base at all. You have a TC, and your TC, it fires crossbow shots basically. You are living your best life. Nobody is getting past your TCs. And is that a second TC from him as well? YZY on his... Yeah, I think he went for a second TC in his base. Yep.
He's
so that
eating
thing
good.
also shoots rockets.
I mean, if this was ranked ladder, he probably goes for it on the wood line. But like in this case, it's all about it's all about just playing smart. If you put it inside MSN's base, you know, maybe he stops it. But if you put it on the gold, there's no way he stops it. You secure the big gold. I mean, you just got to play the game at this point. Big gold denial, secure sacred sites. MSN can't stop you.
Now, with that red palace, you just put a nice little siege workshop there. And one unit, you just get yourself one single cannon, royal in Papercut's heart. And you slowly start firing through, breaking his soul with every single shot, because there's nothing he can do.
I mean, MSN has good food income, but YZY has the similar food income and 2,000 gold a minute. So 3 sacred sites, 5 relics. He's getting tight barns. He's upgrading his arbs all the way. This just feels like MSN. You know, it's match point. He has to try to see this to the end, but he can't even leave his corner of the base. Once he burns through that gold, it's going to be really tough for him. So, you know, YZY is just playing the mass arbitrier slow chokehold style. 55 spears are not going to beat 40 arbitrier. It's a tough situation.
I love that he doesn't even get the knight upgrade. He's like, I don't care about these.
Nope.
I'm going for horsemen. You guys just charge, and when you die, you die. It is what it is.
To be honest, Arbitrary Horseman is the actual goated French comp. Your arbs are just so good. They're so hard to kill. At that point, all you really need is just horsemen to tank. And they're so cheap. And they're so cheap with, if you build horsemen out of a keep and fluent stable, it's like they cost nothing, so.
No, honestly, I'm quite surprised to see 55 spears, though. And MSN, he's now looking for that one moment to try and push. And honestly, this is maybe the one chance he has. But 55 spears against all those arbs.
And it's Pavis arbs
sad.
in the choke.
Yeah. Those spears are just stuck. They're the most stuck spears as I've seen in my life. They're just like, you know, they're just swinging their little sticks around, hoping for better days and slowly dissipating. There were 55. Now there are 6.
I think the spears killed like 5 Arbitrier in that chokehold. YZY.
An attempt was made.
YZY showing that he is someone to be legitimately feared in this tournament. I'm really excited to see some new blood get up here, and boy, did he have some good games. Those are just some amazing games. And shout out to MSN, getting very close and just running into the brick wall that is YZY.
That was an insane series to watch, and MSN, he's going to make a lot of people scared when he lands on their side of the bracket tomorrow, but looking forward to see the kid making it all the way through. YZY, though, like you said, new blood on the block. I'm excited for it. We're having a lot more Chinese representation in our top 16, and they can keep things spicy.
As someone who plays very late night America, which means I'm often playing against early China gamers, they are scary. They are a scary bunch. There's a lot of, and they also are not afraid to come up with their own unique strats. I feel like some of the most unique and fun strats that exists in AoE4 often come from the high level Chinese players. They come up with some crazy stuff.
It feels like they define new ways of playing the game, and then people just improve upon them.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty crazy to see. But, guys, let's take a quick look at the bracket and see exactly how the other games have been going. So, we are getting some noises here at the back, and I have no idea what those noises are.
I don't know what he said.
But
Cow
that's
cheered
fine.
about something.
Oh, YZY first time qualifying. Woo, says Cow. Yes. Chat.
Congrats!
Making it all the way through. Louis qualifying, as we saw earlier. Numadon taking down the Tuna 3-1. And there's one more match between Killjoy and Baldy. Grandpa is taking one of our youngest players on. And we'll see who makes it through all the way.